I'd like to start off with a quote by Robert Allen, an American screenwriter, film director, and film producer. Cultural differences should not separate us from each other, but rather, cultural diversity brings a collective strength that can benefit all of us. I chose this quote because not only is this class about literature, but culture shapes literature, and most of Robert Allen's work revolves around race relations. I wanted to dive deeper and explore the literature of two ethnic groups, Asian American and Hispanic literature. Some works from Asian American literature that have stuck out to me include the poems How I Got That Name by Marilyn Chin and Barbie Chane Got Her Hair Done by Victoria Chane, and the novel The Late Homecomer by Kao Kalia-Yane. One theme that I have noticed throughout all of the literature is cultural assimilation. I believe that theme is expressed best in poetry. Before I dive deeper, I want to show you something important. This right here is a driver's license. If you can look, you'll notice the name is bold. That is a common motif within assimilation. For instance, in How I Got That Name, Marilyn dives into when she lived in Hong Kong, her name was Mei Ling. After she immigrated to the United States, her name was changed from Mei Ling to Marilyn. Marilyn, to people at the time, sounded more Western and familiar than Mei Ling. This can relate to cultural, the differences. Back to the point, when she was in school, all of her classmates would call her Marilyn, and that would frustrate her because she believed that was replacing her birth name, if you know what I mean. With the other literature, a motif that could stand out in Barbie Chane Got Her Hair Done is clothing. Clothing is a way you can express yourself as well as show assimilation. In our personal lives, assimilation can mean things like a hat from a school. However, one thing that I've noticed that's different from the rest is diaspora in The Late Homecomer. Diaspora literature focuses on the author's experiences outside of their native land. In the novel, Yane recounts her family's experience being forced out of Laos to the US due to wars at the time. A motif I have noticed in the novel were things that may seem insignificant to normal people. However, to their culture, those insignificant things can hold a lot of value. When they were destroyed in the war, the things they have left behind, which may be pictures or artifacts, could be the last known things of her family, which is really messed up. Some works for Hispanic literature that have stuck out to me include the short stories Names/Numbers by Juliet Alvarez and My Name by Sandra Cisneros, as well as the poem Always Running by Luis J. Rodriguez. One theme that I have noticed throughout the Hispanic literature is assimilation, which was prevalent in Asian American literature. In Names/Numbers, Julia talks about the various experiences that her family had come up with quote-unquote American names when they went through immigration. This is no different than the Asian American literature where Marilyn talks about developing a Western-sounding name, which could suggest intersectionality between the two cultures. Another theme that comes up throughout Hispanic literature that is different is family. They value family a lot more because in Names/Numbers, she talks about her family and how they're affected by it personally. Speaking of personally, I can believe that literature is a good way to shed light on social issues. The literature I've explored relates to me personally. For instance, with names, whenever I was in high school and I had a substitute teacher for a class, they would often pronounce my last name wrong, which it was annoying at first. However, I got used to it and didn't complain because I didn't think it was a big deal. I can relate to the assimilation when you go to a new school and you get all of their gear, like the hats from like NWTC, or sports and like you're a Badgers fan. You can hang these up in your dorm, and that's what assimilation can feel like. Very overwhelming. However, I have ways of expressing my interests in things that may seem insignificant to others. This right here is a water bottle. If you take a close look at it, you'll see that it has stickers filled in of, alright. Basically, this is a water bottle of all the national parks in the United States. The stickers are the ones I have been to, and I plan to follow the whole thing. So to a normal person, this may seem like just a water bottle, but to me, it means a lot more. Which means all the stuff in the literature, in an aspect, can relate to me. In summary, I believe literature is a great way to explore race relations in the United States.